Shema, Shema, Beni, Usarabi, Viyakiko, Koras, Yeho, Idea, Galerea, Oigamo, Oise, Claudio, Adora, Idea, Galerea, Idea, Oise, Claudio, Adora. Idea, Galerea, Oise, Claudio, Adora. Idea, Galerea, Idea, Oise, Claudio, Adora. Think of the word. One more time. Think of the words. That's what it's all about. Oh, he's dead.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an introduction for the next song.
This happens to be my son-in-law.
Hi, everyone.
My fourth favorite son-in-law. Oh, his wife is here.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm just warning, please prepare some tissues for this following story because I said the story quite a few times and changed my life.
What are we singing at this? Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so in the last few years, 3.5 years ago, I met a heilige man. His name is Rabbi Fisher. And I started teaching in his yeshiva.
Better known as?
So you better recognize. My first Shalom Aleichem in yeshiva was, I came into the yeshiva and I see a guy with long hair and like all fishers. And the guy tells me, do you want to learn with me? I told him yes, I'd say to learn a little. So we learned for 3 months, and then that was 6 months winter. And right after Hanukkah, his father passed away, and he didn't want to go back home. And our relationship was things that I'm not supposed to ask. I'm not asking, like types of things that I see in his room, and I'm like, I know not to ask. Or when he comes sometimes and he's not really with me, I'm like, okay, some things I just don't ask. So when I asked him, why aren't you going to sit Shiva at home in America? He gave me the same look of, Rebbe, please, some things you just don't ask. But we sat and we spoke, and then we had 2 more months for the winter, and then he went back home. And right away when he went home, I was trying to stay in touch. The first Fridays I call him, and WhatsApp a little. But then it's normal. And this is what's happening in the world. Like there is a goodbye. I know in a week from now there is such a thing of a goodbye. And even though you promise not to forget forever and ever and ever with your friends, but in some point you say just goodbye. But 7 months later, I didn't need the tissues right away. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
That's disgusting. I'll never forget you, whoever you are.
But 7 months later, I was in America with my family, and I wanted to surprise him. So I texted him as if I'm still in Israel. I told him I have a package for you, and I waited for him outside his house. It was a very, very nice surprise. He comes out, and Rebbe, I don't believe it, and hugging and kissing and showing me his beautiful motorcycle, and I was almost fainting just driving his motorcycle, but it was very nice. But after that, we were sitting for a few minutes outside. We had a serious talk. And then I asked him at some point, I told him, tell me, what's your relationship with your mother these days? My mother, my father passed away 11 years ago, so I know what is it to be, I know it's a mother that's losing her husband. And he told me, Rebbe, you got to hear, this is a story, you got to hear it. Come, let's go into the house. We go into the house, and his mother is the good Yiddish mama. And he still looks like a Fisher guy, like he's like still with all the look and the stuff. And I asked the mother, so I spoke to your son, and when we got to the question, what's your relationship these days? He told me it's a story I got to hear from you. She said, oh boy, come sit down. And she tells me, listen, this kid from the age of 12 seemed like he did everything he can to murder me and my husband. What we went through with this kid, you see our home. Our home is a normal religious home, but he had his own way. Coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning drunk, getting up at 12 o'clock in the morning, doing nothing for 3 years, then trying the job and getting out of the job, coming home and he's high, and then trying to quit again, and then back again, and then he got arrested twice. And then he went to Eretz Yisrael. We were so happy he went to Eretz Yisrael. And when we spoke to you, Rebbeim, you said that he's steiging and he's learning, and I never believed that this kid could steig. Did he read Hebrew? Does he understand what he's saying? But I trusted you, Rebbeim. Well, I didn't trust you, but I don't care. At least he's not at home near me and influencing the younger brothers. And I'm so happy he didn't come back home when my husband was nifter, because I didn't want him at home. No one wanted him. He was the troublemaker. Whenever he was around, we were nervous. The whole house was scary. And then he came back after Pesach and back to his stuff. I don't know where is he. He's coming home. He's leaving. He's waking up at 11 o'clock. He's coming back home at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he needs to dress these huge boots and all these things, like things that get me so angry. And then 3 months later, after he came home, I came back from work one day. It was the 9 days. It was close to Shkia. And I come back close to my neighborhood and I smell of a barbecue. Now there's goyim also live around. You know, it's prohibited to eat meat in the 9 days. There was a good smell of meat. And when I come close to the apartment, our house, I see my baby son standing there and grilling. Now, eating meat in the 9 days, it's not doraisa, it's not written in the Torah. It is something that's prohibited, but it's not like the end of the world. But the mother told me it was 8 years of anger, of frustration from this kid. And now he's embarrassing me in front of the whole neighborhood. I started yelling at him, started screaming at him. She told me I'm erasing these 2-3 minutes out of my life. I'm so embarrassed, but I was cursing him. I asked him, well, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? And he's giving me that same like teenage smile. Oh, this is for daddy. And I'm like screaming, don't have daddy's holy name on your disgusting mouth. Get out of my life. I don't want to see you. Get out of my life. Never again. Get out of here. And he brings on his tough face and gets all the meat together when it's done, puts it in his motorcycle, and he starts driving. And the mother tells me I was crazy. I didn't think. I just stopped the cab. I yelled to the cab driver, you see this motorcycle? Please go after him. He's like old Mexican guy, like looking at me. You sure? Like we're in a movie? No, we're not in a movie. Just drive after that guy. We're driving for like 10 minutes or so. And then at some point, he took a right turn. It was a place that normal people just don't go there. It was like a forest, a scary forest that, like, if you're a normal person and now it's 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, you just don't go there. And the cab driver was looking at the mirror, lady, are you sure about what we're doing? And I was like, yes, just go. And my son is going like a few miles, and then at some point he starts slowing down. And the cab driver is slowing down as well, and I told him, stop here. And my son is parking the motorcycle, and he comes out, gives like a whistle, and out of nowhere, all these like, what's up, my man? Like all the gang, like all the boys, they're all coming out from the bushes. What's up? Did you bring the food? He's like, yes, come. And he brings everything on the table. And then a second before they start opening the food, he tells them, but we forgot the main thing, the important thing. And the mother says, I'm hiding behind the trees and I'm looking at my son. He's going back to the motorcycle, and he opens the back of the motorcycle and he brings a Gemara. And he says, like I told you, it's my son with long hair, with a ponytail, with his boots, with his cowboy boots, the son that gave me so much hardness, so much crying, so much suffering. He's opening a Gemara and he says, like I promised my father that I'll do a siyum l'ilui nishmas. So I'll do a siyum right now. And he starts reading a very, very beautiful Gemara. The end of Sukkah, the Gemara says a story about a girl that was from a Kohanim family. Very, very chashuv a family of Kohanim. And she was married to a Greek guy. And when the Greeks came into the Beis Hamikdash, she took her shoe and slapped the Mizbeach and said, Wolf, she called God that name. How long you'll take the money of Am Yisrael and just destroy it? So much meat is being destroyed on the Mizbeach. When the Kohanim heard about it, they punished the whole family. The Gemara is asking, why are we punishing the whole family? And the mother tells me, it's my son reading the Gemara. The Gemara is answering the reason why the whole family is punished, because there's no such thing of a kid going out to the street and talking in a way if you do not hear it at home. And suddenly one of the gangsters is asking, but tell me, Moshe, we all grew up in very, very religious homes. Here, Stromeo's father is the Rebbe. Chaim's father is the Rosh Koilo. This father is the rabbi. We all grew up in Haredi, very religious homes. Yeshivish homes. We didn't hear the stuff that we're talking, all the dirty talks, all the curses, all the bad stuff that we're doing. We didn't see it at home. Why are we holding there? And then the mother tells me, Shua opens his mouth. My son is opening his mouth. And he starts talking words as if he's the biggest rabbi in the world. And he says, you know what? Yes, the guy is very, very close to his house, to his family. He's influenced by his family the most. But there is one place that you're even more influenced by your own self. And we all tell ourselves stupid stories when we're 12 years old. Yes, I'm this type of a girl. I'm that type. I'm this. And I'm ADHD, and I'm this, and I'm that. And we tell ourselves stories, and we believe that story, and we go with this story until we're 19 and 20 and 22. And you know, every person is a holy neshama, and there's no end for what every girl sitting over here, what you can do with your life. There's no end, and no matter what you're addicted to or what you're doing with yourself, you are a holy neshama. And this is what the son is talking. He's giving like a shoes to his brother, to his friends. You know, we're all trapped in the Yetzer Hara, but we could do much better. We could do so much more, but we're stuck in a stupid story we told ourselves when we're 12 and 13 and 14. Let's get out of this story. And there's silence there. Then he finishes the Masechta and he says the Kaddish. And when he finishes the Kaddish, one of the guys says, but yo, you told us that you promised your father is that your mother will be joining us in the siyum. And he's like, heck my mother. And as if he's saying these words, she says, I ran from out of the trees. I'm running it. I don't see no cab driver and no trees and no motorcycle and no gang and no meat and no barbecue during the 9 days. I don't care about anything. I see my son. I see this Nebuch kid that lost his father, that Nebuch kid that from the age of 12 is suffering so much from his Yetzer Hara, and he wants to do good so much, but no one ever believed in him, and I never believed in him. And I love him so much. And I'm hugging him because I don't care. I don't care. He has no clue what's happening. He's just hugging me and he's crying on my shoulders. He never got a hug from me. Since he was 12 years old, he didn't get a hug. And he's whispering, Mommy, please hug me. Please hug me. Please hug me. You know I'm about Chuba. She finishes that story and I'm like, oh my gosh. How many stories I'm telling myself about myself, and I'm not 20 years old. So many things in life that I'm stuck with myself because I believe that I'm this type of a guy. And yes, I have a holy neshama in me and I can change myself so much and to work and to grow so much. And all of us can grow so much. So please help me out with another famous song. We go for 2,000 songs, just one more back to the
I don't know anything past 1995.
Okay, so actually this song is it's a 1600 song.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. Sheva Yipoel Tzadi. You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. Sheva Yipoel Tzadi. Da 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 da. אין שום ייאוש בעולם כאן. די דה 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 דה. אין שום ייאוש בעולם. One more time, you fall down. You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. Sheva Yipoel Tzadi. You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. Sheva Yipoel. Oy, 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 oy. Da 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 da. Ya da da da. אין שום ייאוש בעולם. Di Da da da, yo 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 yo. Da da
Fire. Excuse me. In the 1990s, you would say encore. You would say encore. Okay. Are they mine? Stop the beat. Israel, Hashem Elokeinu. You know this song? Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem Elokeinu. Shema Yisrael, 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 Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem Elokeinu. Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Elokeinu. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Elokeinu. One more time. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Elokeinu. 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 Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Yasa shalom, yasa shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yasa shalom, yasa shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yasa shalom, yasa shalom, yasa shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yasa shalom, yasa shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Evenu shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom aleichem. Evenu shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem. Oseh shalom b'rama. Kiyu yaseh shalom aleinu. Hayeh al kol Yisrael. Yiku ma'ameinu. Oseh shalom b'rama. Kiyu yaseh shalom aleinu. Hayeh al kol Yisrael.
הנבל בפינו, העיר השקה, אור הנבל, הנבל בפינו, העיר השקה, אורה כבודי, Uva keboti, uva never betino, aira shaka, uva keboti, uva never betino, aira shaka, uva keboti, ayura never. יברכך השם מצידך ובטח ירושלים יברכך השם מצידך ובטח ירושלים היו בנים לבניך שלום על ישראל 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 Yeram bayam, yeram bayam, yeram bayam, kolo, yeram bayam, yeram bayam, yeram bayam. Ayudo, yeram bayam, yeram bayam, kolo, yeram bayam, yeram bayam, yeram bayam, kolo, yeram bayam. Yeramaya, 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 Yeramaya. What's the next one? Heaven to Shalom, Heaven to Shalom, Heaven to Shalom, Heaven to Shalom, Shalom. I think we could do a little higher.
Now you wake up 3 hours later, huh?
Heaven you shine, no, it's way too high. Heaven you shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom, shalom, shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom alechem, Heaven you shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. We ask shalom, we ask shalom, we shalom aleinu ve'adol Yisrael. We ask shalom, we ask shalom, shalom aleinu ve'adol Yisrael. Oh, say shalom b'mava. We ask shalom aleinu ve'adol Yisrael. We agree with our songs to Amen. Oh, this time shalom b'mava. Hallelujah, shalom aleinu ve'adol Yisrael. Imu amen. It's not the 60s, that's a song.
Gali Gali next. Gali Gali. Oh, you know that one, huh? Good to have people. Yes. You gotta end with it. You gotta end. You can't just end kacha.
There you go. Rabbi, go join them. Go join them.
Hey, Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green.
Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green. Rabbi Green.
Rabbi Sharpman.
Rabbi Sharpman. Rabbi Sharpman.
As you clap, Rabbi Green, Rabbi Frold, Rabbi Khan, really, and all of you, come on. ברמה נשמע לכן אחר מבקום מבקום
Guys, what is Ray's song? After all, that's my mother. You got it.
Where's the rabbi's grandson? Where's the rabbi's grandson?
הלב שלי מרים ידיים, במועד עומד על הרגליים, שברתי שטוב במות, והשמיים הם לי עומד לבוא, בים ביבשה, ורק אתה יחמיר בו מספדי למקום, לזכך את החור, לקדש בי הכל, ורק אתה מבין איך לגשת ללב שלי, משכך כל כאב שבי, מרפא את הלב. הלב שלי כבר לשניים, מה שלא ראתה שחליים, כמו סופה מן הים, כמו תופעה של מרים, ואין תרופה בעולם. הלב שלי מרים ידיים, ודברי של רוק ומוות, השמיים הם לי חומר כבוא, בתוך הים ביבשה, ורק אתה יכול להפוך מספדי למקום, לזכך את החור, לקדש בי הכל, ורק אתה מבין איך לגשת ללב שלי, משקף כל כאב שבי, מרפא את הלב. מתי אלמד לבחון הכל, להעניק לראות שטוב, להביט שוב לאחור, I see I Let's do one more time. So go for Zusha. Go for Zusha. One, two, three, baby, I'm baby, You did well. Let's go one more time. Are you ready, guys? Come on. Okay, you gotta raise money, so we're doing the last song. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Thank you so much. Continue your amazing. Thank you, Rabbi Yitzi Ackerman. The Rabbi Sons of War, right here. The Rabbi Sons of War.